America's fat loss coach, nutritionist, researcher, health ambassador for Stay Healthy Inc., author, and a guy who cares. And I am going to share some information with you, whoever catches this, as it pertains to the keto diet. Now, I'm going to wait a second. And if you have questions, feel free to ask any questions you have. Let me be very clear. I am doing this as a good service, meaning I'm not here to bash keto. I'm not going to put it down. I'm not against it. I'm a big believer that people have the right to do whatever they want to do. However, the question keeps coming up to me about keto, and we've talked about it. And so I wanted to create something now that you could share with other people or invite other people to listen in and learn if they are contemplating or thinking about doing this diet keto. Again, do what you're going to do. However, I do believe it's ideal for people to become informed, because when you're not informed, you make decisions based off emotion. You make decisions based on what you believe to be the fact or the truth. And there's certain things about keto that you just want to know. Okay. And it also applies to a lot of other things. People who eat the same foods all the time, you may find what I'm going to share with you interesting. At the same time, if you're catching this on YouTube, please like, share, hit the bell so that anytime we go live or we put up a new video, you'll be notified, because I want you to be informed. That's what this is all about, my people. Okay, so let's get to it, because my goal is not to keep you. I don't want to have you here like forever and ever and ever. However, I do want you to be informed. And you know what? Let's keep me smaller. Let's go like this. How's that? That look good? No, you know what? Actually, I'm going to go right there. Okay. Okay. So, and do me a favor and share this, make it available to other people so that they are informed. Now, many of you have probably heard of this thing called the gut microbiome. Well, your gut microbiome is inside of your body, your intestinal tract. Okay, I'm going to keep this simple. And it's very important. And it's emerging science that is changing the game as it pertains to medicine. And for instance, 70% of one's immune system, your immune system, lives inside of your gut microbiome. 90% plus of serotonin is produced in your gut microbiome. 50% of the hormone dopamine is produced in your gut microbiome. I can go on and on and on and on about the gut microbiome and the role that it plays. However, it's important that I cover this so that it makes sense why I'm not a fan of the keto diet and why anyone who's contemplating the keto diet, man, it's important that they are aware of what I'm going to share with you. Okay. And over the years, I have worked with a lot of people. Okay. And from an anecdotal standpoint, I have a lot to say about it because I've met many people who have done keto and they finally get to a place where they need help. They meet me or one of our coaches, and we have to get it's work. Keto can really set you back in a big way and bring about problems into your life, framed around your health, that you will swear and wish you had never ever done it. It's a tough thing to get over because you create major disruption with this thing called the microbiome. Now, this picture that you're looking at is a cross section of someone's colon, a healthy microbiome, and the bacteria, those jelly bean looking things, that's all the bacteria. We're talking trillions of bacteria that lives inside of your gut microbiome, which is a good thing. And this is a screenshot of a healthy microbiome. Then to the far right, the blue area over there, the nuclei of the intestinal cells, that's your intestinal wall. And on the other side of that intestinal wall is circulation, your bloodstream, right? So you have the bacteria to the left, all those little jelly beans, and to the far right, you got the intestinal wall. And then right there in the middle, that green thick layer, that is that's your mucus lining. And when it's thick like this, that is an indication of it being very healthy. So think of the mucus lining as a very strong wall or fence, because you don't want the bacteria to be able to get to the intestinal wall and then make its way into circulation. That's where a lot of problems come about as far as your health. And I'm talking a lot of problems. Okay. So this is a snapshot of a healthy gut microbiome. Now, they've done many studies with mice as well as with human beings. And so I want to set the stage by introducing you to what we've discovered when you look at someone who has consumed an adequate amount of dietary fiber from fruits, vegetables, beans, legumes, lentils, whole grains. Well, if you look closely, you can see the bacteria in this screenshot, a cross section of the colon, is on the right. And so all those little red speckles all over, that's the bacteria. And the yellow that you see in there is the fiber. And the dietary fiber fuels the bacteria. So the bacteria becomes happy and is healthy because the dietary fiber that you've been eating is fueling the bacteria. So it thrives, right? And then if you look inside of the mucus lining there, you can see in the green, there's quite a bit of yellow, which means that there's a lot of fiber there. And that's a good thing. And to the far left, we have the lining of your intestinal wall. Now, this mucus layer is so strong and so thick that the bacteria or the pathogens and all the things on the right aren't going to be able to penetrate and get through that mucus layer. And that's very important, which will make sense over the next 5 minutes. Now, if you look to the right, this is an example of someone who, and these are all based on studies, clinical trials, where the mice weren't given an adequate amount of dietary fiber. And you start to notice that the bacteria on the right compared to the bacteria on the left, it's like a desert. There's not a lot going on there. It looks dried up. And you can see that there's some dietary fiber that's made its way there, but it's very little dietary fiber compared to the healthy on the left side. And so what happens is the bacteria on the right, remember, it gets fueled by eating dietary fiber. But if it's not there, it goes inside of that mucus layer and it starts eating the fiber in the middle. And if you notice on the right, that mucus layer is much thinner than the one on the left. That's not a good thing, because as it becomes thinner, the permeability of it is reduced, meaning that the bacteria, pathogens, etc., can make its way to the intestinal wall and get inside of our tissue, get inside of our circulation, which creates and brings about a ton of problems. So here we are. If you look on the left, it's like a desert. When it was fully populated, it's like the Amazon. When you have this kind of situation, what happens is, by not getting an adequate amount of fiber, you see a lot of autoimmune challenges that come about. And that's not a good thing. You want to eat fruits, vegetables, beans, lentils, legumes, whole grains. And when you do the keto diet, guess what happens? You're more on the right side. So the problem is not the fact that you've been eating primarily fat and protein. That's not the argument. Eat your fat, eat your protein, but because you are avoiding various carbohydrates in the form of fruits, vegetables, beans, legumes, and lentils, you are going to be devoid of getting an adequate amount of dietary fiber, aka prebiotics. Uh, uh, like you have probiotics, which is a live bacteria, Prebiotics is the dietary fiber that a person will be getting. So if you're keto, you're on the right. And if you're keto, you will create a desert. Now, will you lose weight? Yes, there's a good likelihood you can lose weight. And you can continue to live that way. But those people who are doing that don't realize it, because on the inside, they have disrupted. They have this thing called dysbiosis. They have disrupted their gut microbiome, and they have compromised their health. And things like Crohn's disease, irritable bowel syndrome, mental illness, arthritis, allergies, acne, all of these ailments start to show up. And I can't tell you how many people I have met over the years and how many people I've met in the last 3 months. Some people are not even alive anymore because they had dysbiosis. And dysbiosis means you have a compromised immune system. Remember, your gut microbiome, 70% of your immune system lives within it. So if it's compromised, then your immune system is compromised. See, what happens is people get so caught up in wanting to lose weight that they will just do what appears to work. So you look at someone who's done it, and on the outside, they look great. But on the inside, they are creating major disruption. Major disruption. I really believe, in my heart to heart, just being very open and honest, that if a physician recommends the keto diet and someone experiences all these negatives that come about because of an imbalanced gut microbiome, they should be sued. I mean, I think the day will come where someone's going to sue some doctor because that doctor recommended the keto diet. And when that person starts to experience all of these negatives as a result of disrupting their microbiome, you see what I mean? There's an injustice here. So oftentimes, if someone has the white coat and they recommend keto, we just listen to them because it's been ingrained in us to respect the white coat and assume that from a scientific standpoint, they're giving us creditable advice. And it's so unfortunate that this is happening. So think again before you just jump in and start doing some diet, because the science is emerging quickly and it's very clear. I'm working with people all the time, and I get it. They want to lose weight, and I respect them for that. And it's not their fault. They see someone who's lost a lot of weight, and you look at that person, and you go, wow, they look great. I'm going to do what they're doing. On the outside, they look great. But on the inside, their health is compromised. I shared a story recently about a woman who's at the age of 45 years of age. And at 45 years of age, this woman looked amazing. She was in amazing physical fitness shape. She ate the same thing all the time. She was on and off keto. And then she took some antibiotics. And what she didn't realize is that antibiotics wipe out both the positive and the potentially not positive bacteria in your gut microbiome. And when that happened to her, she was already compromised, but she didn't know it. And unfortunately, she's no longer with us. We're seeing a lot of this take place with a whole bunch of pathogens and viruses. We're seeing this because Americans, for the most part, are eating food, and they're eating food that does not have what we call intact fiber. And when you're eating that way, you may lose weight, but you're setting yourself up for a lot of problems. This woman was eating like this. She was eating the same foods all the time. And if you want to have a healthy gut microbiome, that gut microbiome must be diverse. And the only way you're going to have, or the primary way you're going to have a diverse microbiome, is to eat a variety of certain foods. And we teach this, like in the course that we created, the 30-day microbiome makeover course. right? So you go to thegutdiet.com and you learn this. And inside of 30 days, you learn enough about the gut microbiome and how you can make it work for you so that you can optimize your own personal health. So, what's the point here? Well, the point is you may not have known anything about the microbiome, and now you do. Or maybe you thought you knew a little bit about it, and now you know more. There's a study, and I'll end on this and let you guys go. There was a study done in 2013, published in 2014 in Nature, very respected publication. And they wanted to understand if the way we eat can change, alter our gut microbiome. So they had a group of people. They ate for 5 days, strictly fruits, vegetables, plants, legumes, lentils, etc. And in one day, and every day they would test their microbiome, they saw amazing improvements, which is a good thing. Inflammation went down. They saw more of the fiber getting into the areas of the gut where we want it to be, so the bacteria could thrive. The mucus layer improved. It got thicker, more dense. Everything was a positive. And then they had the people follow keto for 5 days. And every day they tested their microbiome. Every day. We saw a lot of problems. We saw an increased likeliness of cancer, colorectal cancer, irritable bowel disease, and irritable bowel syndrome. It got really bad. It was like going from light to night. It was going from the Amazon to the desert. And so many people are doing this, but you can't see it because, one, your doctor is not checking for it. Your doctor is not probably even talked about the gut microbiome. Think about that. It's that important. But when you follow the money, you can find the truth. To date, and I've been looking for about 4 years, I have not met one gastroenterologist who study the gut microbiome. They spend all their time and energy with the intestinal tract. I have not found one that will endorse keto. Why is that? Because they look at your colon every day, all day. Now, a family physician, other doctors that have different specialties aside from the colon and the gut microbiome, they don't know because they don't spend all their time focused on the gut microbiome. But the doctors that do, right, they 100% are not endorsing the keto diet. Now, if you got questions, you can reach out to us. I don't care if you do Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig. I don't care what diet you do, or if you don't do a diet, consider our 30-day course. You go at your own pace, because once you experience and become knowledgeable of the gut microbiome, everything makes way more sense. That's all I can say. I mean, I'm not here to sell you. I'm just telling you what I know to be the truth. Or you can work with one of our coaches, but the gut microbiome is here. It ain't going anywhere. And it is opening up so many doors to help people maximize their personal health and well-being. I feel that it's a disservice for anyone in the wellness space to talk wellness to anybody and not prioritize what they share by thinking about and sharing information that always maintains the integrity of helping you optimize your gut microbiome, whether you know it or not. And that's it. That's all I'm saying. So hopefully this was helpful. I went through it quick. I did actually spend more time than I thought I was going to spend, but I just was compelled to share this with you guys now. And we will make follow-ups and share promotional opportunities about our course and the things that we're doing. But we're always looking at helping people, but prioritizing how we help them by keeping in mind how what we recommend may potentially impact pros and cons their gut microbiome. So our information is there if you want to email. Other than that, if you have questions, you can post in the comment. I'll constantly come back and take a look. But again, you can reach us. Email is in the description. All right. So until the next one, I'm Robert Ferguson.